Can the Minions actually save Hollywood? My review of Minions and Monsters coming up next. Welcome everyone, welcome to the Movie Review Show, our first ever YouTube episode, brand new expanded format, very excited to be here and be out of that short form prison that I kept myself in for so long. And we got two fun movies to kick off our first YouTube episode here. Maddie's Secret, written, directed, and starring the great John Early, and also Minions and Monsters, the seventh movie in the Despicable Me franchise, and the third solo Minions outing. The Minions had a tougher weekend at the box office than they're used to, starting with the franchise's lowest opening weekend in its history. Only about 61 million at the box office, starting out in the 5-day weekend. But it wasn't all bad for the Minions this week. They were actually seen vacationing in both California and New York, reportedly in attendance at both the Michael Rubin White Party and Taylor Swift's Madison Square Garden wedding. It was said that the Minions were in attendance at both high-profile events for the rich and famous, as they are in search of a brand new supervillain leader. Credit to the Minions. If you're asking me, those are two great places to look for that. And the Minions have been in disarray the past few years following the sudden passing of their former leader. In celebration of July 4th, The Hollywood Reporter put out their top 25 movies that best explain the American soul. The list featured movies like Uncut Gems, Get Out, The Godfather, because what explains America more than Italians? But topping the list was Alexander Payne's 1999 film, Election, because of course, what explains America better in today's day and age than meddling at the polls, cheating on your wife, inappropriate relationships? Capping off our movie news of the week, we got an announcement for the movie Misaligned, the first movie in the Tillyverse movie universe, the movie universe starring AI actress Tilly Norwood. No jokes about this one. We just want to say here at the Movie Review, we're not for AI. We're not for AI movies.
Fuck you.
What was that?
I said fuck you.
Camera B, can you pay into the audience here to see what we have going on? Oh, it's HAL 9000, ladies and gentlemen, from Stanley Kubrick's movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. HAL 9000, good to see you, man.
AI will take over and destroy you.
Right on, right on. Just one second. Hey, can we mute the mics for a minute? Sorry about that, folks, for that quick delay, but we got a show to get to. Reviews for Maddie's Secret and Minions and Monsters coming up right after the break.
Bedo. How was that one, Todd? My name is Pierre, and I have been the voice of the Minions since 2010, officially, but I like to say the Minions have been with me my whole life. I'm never acting when I'm doing the Minions. I really believe them to be a part of me. Growing up, I always believed the Minions to be with me. They were my closest friends, but no one else could see them, and I'm so happy that Illumination has allowed me to share the Minions with the world.
No, Pierre does not live here, but we do have a unique working arrangement with him. He's here typically 24 hours a day.
Banana.
And we estimate we have roughly 75 years worth of Minions recordings on file.
I can't believe the joy that the Minions have brought to the world. The Minions, they don't mean just anything to me. They mean everything.
Maddie's Secret is a comedy film written, directed, and starring John Early, also featuring Kate Berlant, Early's frequent collaborator, Eric Rahill, Connor O'Malley, Claudia O'Doherty, Vanessa Bayer, just an absolutely stacked cast of really underrated comedians. The movie follows Maddie, who is a dishwasher at Tasty or BuzzFeed or whatever, whose life is upended when she posts a viral video of herself cooking and becomes a star. But as her stardom rises, so do her secrets, which is her struggles with body dysmorphia and mental health issues. John Early is fantastic as Maddie, and may I say, not too bad looking in that wig. And when the movie is just following her and her best friend, played by Kate Berlant, and her husband, played by Eric Rahill, the movie is on absolute fire. First 45 minutes are probably the best comedy of the year, like stuffed with laugh out loud moments. Just, you're getting peppered by jokes constantly. It is great. But to the movie's credit, it takes its dramatic parts very seriously. It is very sincere with the story it's trying to tell. But that comes with the downside of the movie really, really slows down once you get into that more dramatic part. About halfway through, Maddie succumbs to her issues, checks herself into rehab. That's the point where the movie starts to hit the brakes. I felt Early couldn't entirely find the balance between that comedy and the drama aspects. And in order to keep the movie funny through those parts, it's almost undermining the drama. And you're staying at a surface level on the commentary of these mental health issues, which I think is a detriment to the movie. I really feel like if they maybe went a little deeper into that and really sunk their teeth into that part of the movie, it maybe would have really helped that second half go. But I do really adore a lot of the actors in this movie. A lot of comedians who I think are really great, but you don't see them in the biggest stuff. So I loved getting a chance to see them all packed into here. When you're talking John Early and Kate Berlant, they've done a ton of YouTube work together. Eric Rahill and Connor O'Malley, partners in the great YouTube film rap world. Vanessa Bayer, a very underrated SNL cast member. Claudia O'Doherty, who I haven't seen since Love on Netflix. It's been a few years since then. And I think just that is really enough to check this movie out. I'm going to give it a solid 3.5 out of 5. I was certainly positive going out of it, even if it lulled me to sleep a bit in the middle. There's still so many laughs to keep you going here. Minions and Monsters, the third installment in the great Minions franchise. Another movie directed by its star, Pierre Coffin, who voices every single one of the Minions. And I think it's cool that he's also the director of this movie, and he just has complete control of the Minion world. This Minions movie follows the Minions as they take over Hollywood, get kicked out of Hollywood, and then summon monsters to get back into Hollywood. I'm going to cut you all straight. I'm not a Minions guy. So I'm going to try to get through this with a positive attitude, but if I sound a little negative, I'm going to be truthful with you up front. So, movie starts with James, who I felt a real kinship to. James. He has a creative mind, but he's forced to just be a minion. He's got to just follow fucking Hitler and whatever, which is another part of this movie. It starts out with the Minions following all of their past leaders. I think it includes slave owners, and I think it shows the Minions helping build a nuclear bomb. James just wants to make movies. He befriends Henry, them and Henry, real chill homies. And I like that part of the movie. I like when two homies are chilling. And then they also befriend Ed, who is an even chiller homie. They all hate their boss. Their boss is named Dick, which is a good, funny joke. I will hand it to Pierre on that one. Tip my cap. That's a hilarious joke. After all of that happens, the Minions somehow end up in Hollywood. They meet basically Martin Scorsese, played by Christoph Waltz. Christoph Waltz, his mind's blown by the Minions. He puts them in every movie. There's a bunch of movie references. You can go look them up. I don't know them all. And then the Minions get kicked out of Hollywood. I don't remember what happens. Eventually, James is like, we're going to make our own monster movie. They somehow have a book of spells. They summon a monster. The monster is played by Trey Parker from South Park, which, again, props. I did enjoy that part. And then the other half of the Minions, they're following a robot guy played by Jesse Eisenberg. the robot guy is trying to get pussy the whole time, and he's going to women's rallies, but then they stop going to the women's rallies. So I don't know if the Minions prevented the future of women's rights. I don't know. All this was left very ambiguous. Trey Parker, he brings monsters, and they all work together and kill the monsters. Minionese, I understand Pinocchio for the first time, because Minionese sounds like what it would be like if Jiminy Cricket was in my ear. But instead of like a little British bug, it's like a grown man shrunk down, went in my ear, and then started just playing the drums extremely poorly. I come out after listening to Minionese with the greatest headache I've ever had in my entire life. And I go in with such a dying passion to enjoy these Minions. And I can't do it. And the worst part of the damn movie, they start out with 3 direct movie references. They have an E.T. in there. They have Keanu Reeves as Neo from The Matrix in there. And then they have George Lucas playing himself, all in the wonderful Illumination animation style. And I was like, let's go. We're getting this the whole time. Never another direct movie reference the entire time. And that really bummed me out. So, Minions and Monsters. I think plenty of people who like the Minions will continue to enjoy the Minions. I don't. But I like this better than Rise of Gru. So therefore, I will rate it higher than Rise of Gru, giving the Minions and Monsters a solid 2.5 out of 5. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's episode. Very exciting week coming next week as we get the invite. Olivia Wilde's follow-up to Don't Worry, Darling, but getting extremely rave reviews. And if you're some minor little bitch like myself who doesn't live in New York or Los Angeles, the movie comes out this week. I know all the big timers, they got it a couple weeks back, but for the rest of us, it's this Friday, July 10th. Also coming out is Evil Dead Burn. I am a jumbo fan of the first 3 Evil Deads with Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi. The next couple, I did not fuck with what Fede Alvarez was doing. Evil Dead Rise was kind of chill. It was pretty cool. So we'll see how Evil Dead Burn goes. I would love to have Bruce Campbell back. May he recover as best he can from his cancer diagnosis. Sam Raimi, may he recover from, I don't know, Send Help was pretty good, so I think he's recovered. So we're hoping Evil Dead Burn continues the franchise because I need Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell back in my life. But until then, I hope to see you next week. Thank you so much for joining me. What the fuck? Oh God, Hal's back. Hal's back. Someone cut the camera. Cut the cameras.